standardization of medical legal reports. And I don't think there can be a better place to talk about this topic, because clinical forensic medicine का जो मैक्सिमम यूटिलाइजेशन राजस्थान सरकार के कॉलेजेस में, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ राजस्थान में कॉलेजेस में होता है, एंड वी हैव ऑडियंसेस एंड डेलीगेट्स फ्रॉम द नेबरिंग स्टेट्स ऑफ पंजाब, हरियाणा, ऑल द प्लेसेस वेयर मेडिको लीगल वर्क इज डन इन द फुलेस्ट, जहाँ पर काफ़ी इफेक्टिव तरीके से क्लिनिकल फॉरेंसिक मेडिसिन यूनिट्स में काम हो रहा है. तो आई एम होपिंग दैट वी कैन मेक अ गुड डेलिब्रेशन ऑफ दिस टॉपिक हियर, एंड आई कैन पुट फोर्थ सम ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स which may add to the knowledge of youngsters who are attending the conference. So, medical legal reports are essential documents used to establish facts related to injuries, deaths and other medical legal issues, be it alcohol examination, drunkenness, that is, age estimation, etc. And these are used by law enforcement agencies, lawyers, judiciary for informed decisions in medical legal cases. So, in view of its crucial role, the role which medical reports they make in justice delivery system, the quality and standards of these reports need to be maintained. And clinical forensic medicine unit has a crucial vital role in maintaining the quality and standards of medical legal reports. But there have been a lot of deliberations on what exactly a medical legal case is, what MLC means, without a consensus. But for a very basic knowledge, any medical case or a clinical case with legal implications is termed a medical legal case. And cases of injury, ailment, which can potentially involve legal investigations for the causation of the said condition is termed as a medical legal case. Obviously, these cases, law enforcement agencies seek to investigate and fix the responsibility of the person who has been accused in such cases. So these cases can be of accidental, suicidal, homicidal nature, it can be undetermined nature, it can be unclear, or it can be self-inflicted manner, which includes traffic accidents and falls, physical and sexual assaults, firearm and explosive injuries, burns and electrocution, cases of asphyxia, poisoning, torture, domestic violence, child abuse, etc. So, while dealing with all these cases, some of the vital medical legal duties include determining the nature of the case, reporting it to the appropriate authorities, detailed examination of the case, proper documentation of the case, of the facts, collection of evidentiary materials. So, these are the basic things which we all are engaging in. And this obviously requires forensic expertise. So, all the staff of clinical forensic medicine unit should include the center part of it should be a forensic medicine expert, a person who is well trained in or having a degree in MD forensic medicine. In places where it is not being performed by forensic medicine experts, then clinician or duty doctors who are engaging in these activities or the support staff, they should be trained to recognize and document injuries and legal procedures. So trained support staff and coordinated efforts from other clinicians is required to make an effective MLR. So with regard to the utilization of resources and the functions of clinical forensic medicine unit, I have divided the talk into following points. That is the things which are dealt by the clinical forensic medicine unit, which includes medical examination and documentation, evidence collection, chain of custody, standardized protocols, expert testimony, quality assurance, continuous education, inter-agency collaborations, research and development, and ethical considerations. So these are the points which I will be highlighting on in the present talk. So coming to medical examination documentation, we all are very aware of, I will skip through this slide very quickly, that obviously talks about detailed examination of the victim and suspects, and examination includes collection of history, documentation of findings, assessment and interpretation of injuries, etc. So these things have been taken care of in our routine practices. Evidence collection is an important part of it. These evidences, so clinical forensic medicine unit should be equipped to collect and preserve physical evidences that might be relevant to a case. And these can include swabs, gastric lavage, blood, urine, or other items recovered during treatment or further analysis in a forensic laboratory. Now, depending on if it is a firearm case, we may have to preserve the bullet which is recovered during the surgery. It can be a case of stab with the weapon in place. It can be a stained shirt, blood-stained shirt, or shirt stained with a vomit or something like that. So all those things are to be preserved properly, and then chain of custody is to be maintained. That means maintaining a secure chain of custody to ensure integrity of the evidence which has been collected. So clinical forensic medicines should have strict protocols for handling and documenting and transfer of evidence to maintain its reliability in the court. The standardized protocol is an important thing of raising or maintaining the standards of medical legal reports. So we should follow standardized protocols and guidelines for conducting medical examinations and preparing medical legal reports. And these protocols should ensure all relevant aspects are thoroughly documented, reducing the risk of errors and omissions. Now, whatever performance we have in our forensic medicine units, be it injury report, age estimation report, drunkenness, or the performance for sexual assault victim examination made by the presented by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, all those are a testimony to how a good performer can lead to a detailed report which can help in justice delivery system, because you are less likely to miss on any point. The impartiality, something unrelated to the workplace criteria. The clinical forensic medicine units are expected to be impartial and unbiased. We should not advocate for any party in a legal case, but instead provide an objective assessment of the medical and forensic findings. We all have been aware of that while going through a case or while listening to the history, we should not be biased towards the victim or the accused which she is claiming has caused injury. So we should be objective in our approach and then let the judiciary decide the final outcome. Many times I see in newspaper that the accused was released and then people blame on the forensic evidence. That is not the case. We are doing our job. The cases are fought in the court. There are a lot many people involved in that, be it lawyers or the judges. It is their perception, their analysis of many facts in a holistic manner which decides the case. Expert testimony. So forensic medicine experts will be called as expert witnesses in the court to explain their findings and provide professional opinion on medical aspects of a case. So they should be well versed with the legal procedures, and that starts with the knowledge of the sections in which the case is booked, the knowledge of the related to summons for which they have been called to the court, etc. etc. Coming to quality assurance, there has to be quality assurance tools in place to ensure that we are improving on how we are documenting the injuries, how we are interpreting the reports, and how we are going ahead with this work. It is essential that medical legal reports undergo appropriate quality control. Clinical forensic medicine units have quality assurance programs to review and audit their work regularly. So we can have a discussion on how to do it for betterment of the documentation of reports in the reports. This includes peer review and audits to ensure the accuracy and reliability of their reports. The most important is peer review of the reports that can help in increasing the visibility and importance of the reports. Coming to continuous education, medical professionals in clinical forensic medicine unit are expected to stay updated with the latest developments and medical legal standards. Obviously, we need workshops and conferences focused on different aspects of medical legal reporting to enhance the knowledge of those who are participating in these. So continuous education and training are essential to maintain a high level of expertise. Talking about interagency collaboration, no case can be solved by a forensic medicine expert alone. You need collaboration with the clinicians, you need collaboration with the lawyers, judicial system, etc. etc. So, clinical forensic medicine units, they work closely with law enforcement agencies, forensic science laboratories, legal professionals to ensure a coordinated approach to medical legal cases. Collaboration helps in exchanging information, sharing expertise, and streamlining the legal processes. Coming to research and development, which we all should look up to. Some clinical forensic medicine units may also engage in research and development activities to improve forensic techniques and standardize reporting further. This can lead to advancements in the field of forensic medicine, especially research which deals with dating of injuries, etc. They are possible only in the emergency room. Talking about ethical considerations, clinical forensic medicine units must adhere to strict ethical standards in their practice, which includes maintaining patient confidentiality, respecting the rights of the individuals involved in legal cases, following ethical guidelines for conducting medical examinations. we come across while making medical legal reports. Improper history taking. Due emphasis should be taken in the history. A lot depends on that. A delay in intimation. Prompt intimation should be there to the authorities. Inaccurate assessment of injuries. Incomplete description of injuries. Not mentioning the general condition, which is vital to know about the patient condition at the time of admission when the patient was brought to the emergency. Illegible handwriting and incomplete hospital records. So these all are essential items in a medical report, injury report, and any lacking in any of these may lead to a serious outcome. The possible outcomes of these mistakes, obviously, delay in justice delivery system, judicial proceedings, misleading decisions, loss of rights and freedom of a victim or a suspect, both may be affected, and there can be accusations of neglect of judicial responsibility and untruthful expertise. So these are two terms which I came across while preparing for this topic. So indirectly it amounts to a negligent act on part of the person who is involved in medical legal reporting, which is known as neglect of judicial responsibility or untruthful expertise. And those who have been in practice, they know that strictures are passed in court of law when there are allegations of somebody deliberately or undeliberately being involved in causing delay in the justice. The steps to strengthen these practices to ensure we have better practice in place involve the experts. There should be regular training of all involved in medical legal reporting. There should be interdisciplinary approach. Peer review is the most important step to strengthen medical legal reporting. There should be internal audits. In Western world, they have option for external audit of reports also, which I feel can be done, but we are far away from that reality. There should be performance and checklist to ensure that those who are making the reports, they do not miss on something vital. And there should be preservation and completion of records. They should be well maintained and preserved. To conclude, a fully functional clinical forensic medicine unit ensures accurate, unbiased and detailed, well-documented medical legal examinations. The expertise in forensic medicine, adherence to protocols, commitment to quality assurance contribute to the reliability of medical legal reporting in medical legal reports in legal proceedings. These are the references. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You asked me starting of DM forensic counselor. This is IB started by James Gardner.
Oh, thanks for the question. So basically, I think the question is that we are starting the DM course in forensic pathology. So are there any plans of starting clinical toxicology? Navneet, that is the question, na? When are we starting clinical toxicology? So that is a difficult question. You want to start? It goes step by step process. So we have started it with DM forensic pathology, and the purpose of starting DM forensic pathology was so that the people who are involved in these new course, their careers are not affected merely when they go out of it and people ask them that you are specializing in this particular super specialty, then how are you going to add to our place for suppose SMS Medical College or SM Medical College or any place in Haryana, Punjab or South India, and they don't have a unit like that to work on. So they will have some reluctance in taking such a candidate. So there is something like this in mind. Before that, we will think of a course in clinical forensic medicine also. So because I personally, being from Rajasthan, I believe that there is a lot of scope of people strengthening clinical forensic medicine services.
This forensic nursing in clinical forensic.
Very valid point, sir, raised by you. So when we talked about the staff, trained staff helping the doctor, I should have elaborated on that part in my slide. So forensic medicine, forensic nursing has a vital role. With that role in mind only, I think now nursing council also had made it mandatory for them. And I see it, I am glad to see that many of the forensic medical professionals are actively involved in the training of nurses, because that is very vital to examination. If you are trained staff, as it was told that there is a problem in the previous lecture, that there is a problem of changing the support staff periodically, which causes challenges to the person who is examining the case. So if we have trained people, that is why Dr. Akhilesh also had raised the point in the previous case. So forensic nursing, if we have that provision with us, definitely the quality of the reporting is going to be a lot better.
Thank you, sir. In Gujarat also, for Ahmedabad, they have also started the MSc in forensic nursing.
Forensic nursing.
Thank you so much.
Good.